Chairman and President of Crimes and Corruption Watch. And to Engineer Michael Salarda, President of Davao del Norte Constructors Association Incorporated. For the online viewers, including prospective bidders and observers watching us right now via live streaming on our official YouTube channel, DPWH Davao del Norte DEO Procurement LS. Don't forget to click subscribe. Once again, good day and good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The procurement activity this afternoon is the pre-bid conference for civil works, re-invitation to bid, number 2025-006, 25 LC 0091, Last Mile Schools Program Kapatagan Integrated School Kapalong, Davao del Norte. With an ABC of 18 million. Source of Fund FY 2025 GAA BEFF. Okay, so then the agenda items, the brief presentation, explanation by the back of the following: basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, documents to be as submitted by the bidders as specified in the section 54.2 IRR of RA 12009, technical proposal, financial proposal, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, deliberation, recommending award and award. And number 2, questions, comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. Other matters. Interim guidelines upon lifting of suspension on procurement activities for locally funded civil works projects as referred into DPWH memorandum dated September 16, 2025. And bidders' responsibilities, Philippine bidding documents, procurement of infrastructure projects, Department Order Number 28, Series of 2024, dated February 26, 2024. Subject 3, Strike Policy of Infrastructure, Goods and Consulting Services Contracts. Occupational Safety and Health Program in the instruction to bidders. Department Order Number 241, Series of 2024. Subject, guidelines on the processing, approval, and reporting system construction safety and health program, CSHP, for DPWH infrastructure projects. Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, dated August 30, 2025. Subject, guidelines on the use of DPWH performance evaluation systems for constructors, consultants, and suppliers. Then last, the directive to require submission of general information sheet reflecting beneficial information, memorandum dated February 24, 2026, clarification on the implementation of BOI disclosure requirements under the memo dated November 19, 2025, and the summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. So, may we proceed with the basic contract data to be presented by the representative from Planning and Design section? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. For the contract ID 25LC0091, Last Mile Schools Program, Kapatagan Integrated School, Kapalong, Davao del Norte, an ABC of 18 million, and contract duration of 150 calendar days under FY 2025 GAA BEFF. So this is the location of the site, approximately around 85 kilometers away from the Tagum City proper. And these are the geotag photos. So as we can see from the picture, uneven po yung ground na pagtatayuan ng building. And same with this geotag photo on the right side, we can see a personnel from the DPWH na makita na to yung gap po talaga na yung natural ground and the finish level for the existing na one-story, one classroom, which is need po nato siya i-level ang ato ang this project. So massive po ang ating embankment. And this is the site validation sheet conducted last year together with the DepEd personnel. So enclosed in that red box is our proposed or this project, the one-story, three classroom, beside the ongoing one-story, one classroom from the province. So karon is completed na po yung one-story, one classroom nila na makita natin sa previous na picture. And this is the site development plan. So the colored blue rectangular box is our proposed classroom building, which is beside lang siya sa existing one unit na one-story classroom. And this is the perspective of the project. And this is the floor plan with 34.5 by 9.5 floor area. With one side po niya is the bathroom and the other side is our utility room and the ramp. And this is the typical base section where we can see the embankment as well as the extended columns to ensure that the building is stable. So ang embankment po natin is around 1 meter high to achieve yung desired elevation, which is level po yung existing na one-story, one classroom na iyang katapad. And this is the detail of the elevation of truss. So for the truss, we have angle bars welded. And these are the included pay items and the quantities for this project. For Part A, we have facilities for the engineer, including item for the provision of furnitures, fixtures, equipment, and appliances for the field office for the engineer, as well as the construction of combined field office and living quarters building for the engineer. So for A.1.1.111, we have the included items such as the desktop, UPS, and a printer. As for the combined field office and living quarters, we have the Bahay Kubo. For Part B, we have other general requirements, including permits and clearances, project billboards or signboards, specifically the COA and DPWH building, occupational safety and health, mobilization and demobilization, and the signages for our school name, school ID, and the addresses. For Part C, we have earthworks. Included items are structure excavation for common soil, embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil, embankment from barrow, common soil, the item for gravel fill, and our gate, which is situated at the front. For Part D, we have reinforced concrete items such as the structural concrete Class B, 28 days, 3,000 PSI for our slab on fill. Items for structural concrete Class A, 4,000 PSI for footings, columns, beams, and such. Reinforcing steel boards, grade 40 and grade 60, and formworks and false works. For Part E, we have finishing sanitary and other civil works. For the masonry works, we have 100 mm for the interior walls and 150 mm for the exterior walls. We also have carpentry and joinery works, specifically PVC ceiling panels on metal frame, blackboard and the air vent, glaze for our CR and hand wash, and glaze tiles for our classroom and CR only, cement plaster finish and railings for ramp. We also have complete painting works for masonry, wood, and steel, waterproofing for our reinforced concrete gutter, and for the roof framing and roofing works, we have complete roofing works such as the corrugated long span, hips or ridge rolls, and flashing. We also have metal structures, accessories such as the bolts and rods, turnbuckles, sag rods, cross bracing, and the steel plates, and our structural steel trusses and purlins. For Part E, finishing hardware, we have one lump sum, windows accessories, specifically window grills, hollow steel door, aluminum glass windows, fixed type, and we also have jalousie windows, glass, frames, doors, and roll-up doors for our utility room. We also have complete plumbing works, including catch basin, sewer line works, storm drainage and downspout, septic vault, plumbing fixtures, and cold water lines. For the electrical works, Part F, we have complete electrical works, including conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel boards, solar panel with inverter, battery, and other devices, and lighting fixtures, including po yung solar for our front gate. And for Part G, we have mechanical works, items for our ventilating equipment, specifically the ceiling fans, water tank na stainless, including po yung concrete platform niya, fire extinguisher, and our fire alarm system. And these are the proof of ownership that we have received from the school. This is a usufruct or kasabutan sa paggamit sa Luna or Yuta, as well as supporting documents from the barangay. And we also presented the certification from the DepEd with an approved signed by the personnel. And that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, back members, any query regarding the presentation? Nalay, pangutana gamay lang. Ma'am, designer ka ma'am o programmer?
Programmer po, sir.
Ang designer, lahi pod sa inyo ha? Lahi pod ang nag-design sa kani, kinsa man?
Si Sir Nolly po, sir.
Thank you. So, implementing unit, any query regarding the presentation?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. There's no changes naman po, Mr. Chair, as presented sa PDS, except lang atong sa Bahay Kubo, Lorno. So, possible SBB, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
There's possible SBB po.
Sige, noted. Backsec, any query regarding the presentation?
None, Mr. Chair.
Requirements of bidding documents, Backsec, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Basic contract requirements of bidding documents, including invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, bid data sheet, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and Philippine bidding documents related forms. The bidding documents were posted at DPWH website and PhilJEPs. Amendments in the provision of the bidding documents shall be issued a supplemental bid bulletin and will be posted in the bid bulletin and notices. The documents to be submitted by the bidder, technical and financial proposals. Bids must be duly received by the procuring entities back at Kilometer 48, Barangay Kanukutan, Tagum City, Davao del Norte for manual submission, or at electronic bids _ Davao del Norte at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. Bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. For electronic submission, prior to the deadline of submission of bids, the prospective bidder shall send an email attaching the copy of the official receipt of purchase of bidding documents in portable document file or PDF format. Only the electronic bids of bidders who have successfully submitted an electronic official receipt shall be accepted. Prospective bidders shall prepare their bids in 2 file folders in appropriate documents and file format, each for the technical and financial components. Only during the actual opening of bid shall the bidder disclose the passwords for his electronic bid. This can be done by the bidder's authorized representative verbally in person, through phone call, online platforms, or through writing. For joint venture, the format of PCAB ID to be used by the bidder in naming their files shall be the PCAB ID of the lead member. The step-by-step detailed procedure electronic submission is stipulated in the Bidding Documents Clause 22 and the Department Order 87 Series of 2020. Also included in the Department Order are the steps for the modification of an electronic bid, non-participation in the bidding, withdrawal of electronic bid, and proper email subject, and the file name for each file to be submitted to the designated email address. For the technical proposal, PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statement of all its ongoing and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's SLCC or single largest completed contract in accordance with ITB Clause 5-5. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Net Financial Contracting Capacity, or NFCC, computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5-6. Joint Venture Agreement, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of the two contractors. The bid security in prescribed form, amount, and valid period. The bidder at its option shall submit a bid security in the form of bidding securing declaration or any of the following: the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cashier's check, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in manager's check, and the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if surety bond. In case of extension of bid validity and bid security validity period, substitution of bid security form is allowed. Bid securing declaration and the following forms may be used: cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security. Bid shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Should it become necessary to extend the validity of the bids and the bid securities beyond 120 calendar days, The procuring entity concerned shall request in writing all those who submitted bids for such extension before the expiration date, therefore. Any discrepancy in the amount, even a centavo, means non-compliant. Project requirements, which shall include the following: organizational chart of the personnel to be deployed for the procurement project to be bid, list of contractors' personnel, example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid with their complete qualifications and experience data. This personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. As per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded a contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded a contract under bidding. The said certification shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. As per Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, issued by the Department of Labor and Employment, revised implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act Number 11058 entitled An Act Strengthening Compliance with Occupational Safety and Health Standards and Providing Penalties for Violations thereof, under Section 10, Safety in the Use of Equipment, to quote, operators shall undergo appropriate training and certification from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA, the Professional Regulation Commission, or other relevant government agencies before using the equipment. The DOLE may recognize training provided by equipment manufacturers, suppliers, or international organizations if it is not available locally. Accredited safety officer requirements for approval of construction safety and health program required upon issuance of notice of award. In compliance with Department Order DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, under Section 22, Occupational Safety and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. First aider with certificate of training issued by Philippine Red Cross or an organization authorized by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. Requirements for the approval of construction safety and health program required upon issuance of notice of award. In compliance with DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, under Section 22, Occupational Safety and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. In compliance with Section 17 of DOLE Department Order Number 13, the implementation of construction safety shall be considered in all stages of project procurement, design, estimate, and construction, and its cost shall be integrated to the overall project cost under pay item B-71 and B-72, Occupational Safety and Health, as a lump sum amount to be quantified in the detailed estimate. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, which must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS. As per Department Order Number 58, Series of 2012, all prospective bidders are mandated to state in their bid documents a complete technical description of their pledged equipment, whether owned or leased, such as but not limited to the engine number, year, model, chassis number, plate number, production capacity, and load capacity. In addition, the prospective bidders should also be required to state in their bid documents the particular place or site where the equipment are located, as provided for under Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. If any piece of equipment is not in the location, then the bidder shall be post disqualified. Failure of a prospective bidder to comply with the said requirements shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per Department Order 11 Series of 2017. Pursuant to Department Order Number 171 Series of 2025, guidelines on the use of DPWH Performance Evaluation System for constructors, consultants, and supplier. Department of Public Works and Highways recognizes the necessity of institutionalizing formal performance evaluation system for all types of procurement to ensure that past and ongoing performance records are consistently considered in critical stages of procurement and contract management. At the eligibility stage, pursuant to Section 54-4-2-5 of the IRR for infrastructure projects, bidders shall submit proof of satisfactory past performance, such as a CPES rating of at least satisfactory or an owner's certificate of final acceptance or equivalent for private sector contracts. Bidders must ensure to the adherence to the Department Order 110, Series of 2024, for the implementation of ISO 9001-2015 certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. Hence, bidders must attach to the technical envelope their ISO 9001-2015 certification. Failure to attach will be disqualified for their bid. Pursuant to Department Order Number 169, Series of 2025, only accredited project engineers may be assigned to DPWH projects. Omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54-3 of the IRR, 11 items. To ensure compliance with memorandum dated February 24, 2026, with the subject clarification and the implementing of beneficial ownership information or BOI, disclosure requirements under the memorandum dated November 19, 2025, in accordance with RA number 12009 provides for the disclosure of the beneficial ownership information for legal entities participating in government procurement. In this regard and consistent with the intent of said provision, the following implementation guidance is adopted. Considering that the current omnibus statement already incorporates sworn declarations relating to beneficial ownership disclosure, and in order to streamline documentary requirements and avoid duplication of sworn submissions, the separate submission of the sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership or Annex A shall no longer be required. In lieu thereof, disclosure of beneficial ownership shall be established through submission of the latest General Information Sheet or GIS reflecting beneficial ownership information or BOI, duly filed with a stamp received by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This requirement shall be specified in documents comprising the bid as mentioned in item number 4 hereof, and shall be submitted by the bidders in its bid. The requirement shall apply only to the entities enumerated under Section 82 of the IRR, namely, legal entities such as corporations, partnership, private sector organizations, foundations, and associations. For the financial proposal, financial bid form, bid prices, bill of quantities in accordance with ITB Clause 13-1. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above-mentioned checklist is a ground for outright rejection of the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated. Otherwise, it will be rated as failed. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents in one sealed envelope marked technical component and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked financial component. sealing them all in outer envelope marked bid, and bid's proposal must be in A4 size. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. Bids submitted through carrier will not be accepted. Bidders shall submit 2 original copies and 1 copy of certified true copies of the technical and financial components of the bid. The original copy of the bid shall type or written in ink and limited to 2 decimal places in amount and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters, be addressed to the procuring entity's back in accordance with ITB Clause 18-1, bear the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITB Clause 1-1, and bear a warning. Do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with ITB Clause 19. The bidders were also advised to be responsible on their bids submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposal should have proper tabbing in words based on the order in the checklist, including proper sequencing of documents in chronological order. Further, bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents or documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have the signatures and countersigns of the back members. Late bids submitted will not be accepted. All forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17-1 must be completed without any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the bill of quantities under Section 9 hereof, shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be a ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded for the contract. All bid documents are still subject to detailed bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days after the bidding to file for a motion for reconsideration. The criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bid, post-qualification, deliberation, recommending award, and award. After determining the names of the bidders that submitted bids for the contract at hand, the BAC, assisted by its BAC Secretariat, shall check if each bidder that submitted bid is eligible to bid for the contract being procured. This shall be done electronically using the DPWH CWA. The BAC Secretariat shall enter into the CWA the PCAB license number and or name of the bidder. The CWA program will then electronically process and match the bidder's capability or eligibility data in the CWA. The computer program will automatically determine if the bidder meets the following eligibility requirements. The cost of the bidder's SLCC is at least 50% of the ABC of the project to be procured. The bidder's NFCC is at least equal to ABC of the project to be procured. The program will also automatically generate the results of the eligibility check. The reasons for ineligibility will also be automatically shown in the notices of ineligibility. Bidding will be conducted through competitive bidding procedures using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion as specified in the RRR, otherwise known as the New Government Procurement Act. This office reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award a contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RA number 12009 without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. The procuring entity will undertake the detailed evaluation and comparison of the bids which have passed the opening and preliminary examination of bids pursuant to ITB Clause 22 to determine the lowest calculated bid. Lowest calculated responsive bid is the award criterion. The same will be applied to detailed checking or evaluation of the technical proposal. Then the bidder rated as the lowest calculated bid will undergo post-qualification. One post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders found to have conflicting interests shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand, without prejudice to the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. All prospective bidders shall be required to submit a sworn disclosure of relations and beneficial ownership, clearly identifying the natural persons who ultimately own, control, or benefit from the bidding entity, whether directly or indirectly through shareholding, voting rights, contractual agreements, or other means of control. Failure to comply shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the IRR. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018, and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process. As per the said Department Order, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 days and to complete them within 30 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Or failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 days and to complete the works within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Or substandard quality of work as per contract receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection, or liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractor. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance to the requirements of the contract. With that, we will be sending you a letter being the lowest calculated responsive bid. Moreover, the qualification and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process as per Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018. The BAC, with the assistance of the Equipment Verification Team, will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of the post-qualification as per Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018. The Equipment Verification Team will conduct an inspection on the verification of the equipment pledged by the contractor. So we would like to inform our bidders that there are common reasons for bidders' failure. Number 1, failure to follow the posted supplemental bulletin on PhilJEP's and DPWH website. A contractor may fail in the bidding process if he or she does not strictly comply with the requirements, revisions, or clarifications stated in the supplemental bulletin posted on the PhilJEP's and DPWH website. Number 2, incorrect pay item, description, unit, or quantity in the bill of quantities. Errors in the bill of quantities such as incorrect pay items, descriptions, units of measurement, or quantities may result in disqualification during the evaluation of bids. Inconsistencies in the equipment pledge and supporting documents. The contractor may be disqualified if the equipment listed in the equipment pledge does not match the attached supporting documents such as official receipt, certificate of registration, proof of ownership, or lease agreement. All details, example, equipment type, plate number, capacity, and ownership information must be consistent and properly documented. Non-compliance with SLCC supporting documents requirements, Section 52-4-2-5, as required under Section 52-4-2-5, the single largest completed contract must be supported by any of the following: an owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, a final rating of at least satisfactory under the constructor's performance evaluation system or CPES, or a similar performance or monitoring document. For contracts with the private sector, an equivalent supporting documents must be submitted. Failure to provide the required documents may result in disqualification. Alteration or substitution of prescribed bidding forms, Section 9, bidding documents, related forms, ITB Clause 17-1, pursuant to Section 9 of the Philippine Bidding Documents Related Forms. The forms required under ITB Clause 17-1 must be completed strictly in accordance with their prescribed format. No alterations, modifications, or substitutions of the official form shall be accepted. Any deviation from the required format may lead to the rejection of the bid. Also, we would like to inform our bidders that for corporation and partnership, failure to attach the GIS reflecting the BOI duly received by the SEC and sworn affidavit in your bid as part of your eligibility in compliance to Section 82 of the IRR of RA 12009 on the declaration of beneficial ownership shall also be ground for disqualification. Failure to specify the applicable taxes itemized in the detailed estimates using the prescribed bid form, particularly under declarations E, shall be a ground for disqualification. This is in accordance with the instructions to bidders, Clause 17-2, and as provided under Section 9 of the Philippine Bidding Documents, the forms referred to in ITB Clause 17-1 must be duly accomplished and submitted without any alteration to their prescribed format. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Questions, comments from bidders, and the replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. There are 76 views and 3 concurrent viewers, and there are no comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay, 76. For other matters, BAC members, TWG, Box.
For other matters, Mr. Chair, for information and guidance for the prospective bidders, our department issued memorandum and department orders. These are the following. Number 1, interim guidelines upon lifting of suspension on procurement activities for locally funded civil works projects as referred into DPWH memorandum dated September 16, 2025. These are the live streaming of bidding activities, Section 38.2 of the IRR of RA 12009, the geotagging of projects, DO 85 series of 2020, preparation of a straight line diagram, DO 246 series of 2024, the net financial contracting capacity, Section 52.4.1.4 of the IRR of RA 12009. And number 2, bidders' responsibilities, the Philippine Bidding Documents Procurement of Infrastructure Projects. Number 3, Department Order Number 28 Series of 2024, dated February 26, 2024, subject 3-strike policy of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contracts. Number 4, Occupational Safety and Health Program in the instruction to bidders. Number 5, Department Order Number 241 Series of 2024, Subject, guidelines on the processing, approval, and reporting system of construction safety and health program for DPWH infrastructure projects. Number 6, Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, dated August 30, 2025, subject, guidelines on the use of DPWH performance evaluation systems for constructors, consultants, and suppliers. And the last one is number 7, directive to require submission of general information sheet reflecting beneficial information under memorandum dated February 24, 2026. Clarification on the implementation of BOI disclosure requirements under the memo dated November 19, 2025. And we have also to remind our bidders that their bid documents must follow the completeness and sufficiency of the bid. The discounts offered should be clearly and legibly written with signatures so that the back will be able to read it during the opening of bids. Also reminded, they are not allowed to follow up their bids during evaluation period until the issuance of the notice of award, unless the back and writing request for a clarification of its bid. The no-contact role policy will be strictly observed. Whatever submitted during the drafting of bids will be evaluated. Submission of lacking or another document is not allowed. If there are any changes in the basic contract data of these projects, kindly closely check and monitor the DPWH and PhilGIP's websites for information and guidance regarding bid bulletin, and also if there are amendments to the bidding documents of these projects and all other notices, example, postponement or re-advertisement. Our opening of bids will be on May 12, 2026 at 10 a.m. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other matters for discussion?
There is none, Mr. Chair.
If none, any move for adjournment?
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
It was agreed, in summary, it was agreed that a supplemental bulletin will be issued for the contract ID discussed po, Mr. Chair.
And for additional information, there will be an pre-procurement conference and pre-bid conference tomorrow. The activity starts at 9 a.m. That's all, Mr. Chair.
No more? Okay, so there any move for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, I move for the adjournment of this proceeding.
Duly seconded, Mr. Chair.
Okay, adjournment has been moved and duly seconded. Therefore, this proceeding is now adjourned.